We're boycotting Tesla.
I sold my Tesla. I traded it in for a Subaru, actually.
Shut up, Elon! Go home, Elon!
When you already have 300 billion, why do you need more?
Wake up! Fight back!
I have friends who are undocumented.
As a queer person, I've been affected by this. Elon is the biggest clown there is, so I decided to dress up as a clown today.
Elon Musk gonna make Cuba the 51st state.
Tech bro, you're gonna go.
The 51st state, man.
He tweets 200 times a day. The man is on ketamine and he's not well.
These two people.
If if anything, Greenland is up next for 51. What is this? Let that sink in.
People are in bed together. They're doing it to everybody, not just to each other. They're doing it to everybody. We're all part of this. It's horrible.
They're gonna kill us first, but you're next.
Fire Elon Musk and send him to Mars, where he belongs.
What's up, everybody? We're back with a new Channel 5 breaking news special. As many of you guys know, the Trump administration has kicked things off into high gear, issuing 73 executive orders in the first month of the new presidency.
Very important executive orders.
Some of the executive orders are not that controversial, like creating a task force to disrupt the synthetic opioid supply chain in China, a declassification of the FBI files on the assassinations of JFK and MLK, and limiting the federal government's ability to pressure social media companies into censoring their users.
It really is a slippery slope.
However, many of these executive orders are extremely polarizing and range from mass deportation orders to bans on paper straws to restoring the death penalty to preventing children from medically transitioning genders.
There are only two genders, male and female.
Trump has also established something called the Department of Government Efficiency, aka DOGE, which has the stated goal of auditing government agencies and cutting back on expenses.
The checks never bounce to the federal government.
Something that's resulted in the defunding of the Department of Education and the mass firings of federal employees like park rangers, baby formula testers, USAID workers, and other alleged bureaucrats in the DC swamp.
And 6,000 IRS staffers expected to be terminated by the end of the month.
Now, the chief executive of DOGE is tech mogul Elon Musk, which has sparked a number of anti-Elon Stop the Coup protests around the country.
We're tired and we're not gonna stand back. We are wide awake.
The guy's a criminal. He's unelected and he needs to go.
Nobody elected him. He's not qualified. He's a racist.
We covered one last week in New York City, and by coup, they seem to be suggesting that by defunding federal agencies, shrinking the government, and appointing Trump loyalists to powerful positions, Trump and Elon are attempting to seize absolute power over the U.S. and create an autocracy.
It's a bloodless coup, so nobody thinks there's a coup going on.
He wants to be a king. People don't get it.
Yeah.
He wants to be a king.
He's acting like a king or wannabe dictator. I think it's pathetic.
We have a government where powers are supposed to be separated between equal branches.
Our democracy is being eroded from the inside by people who were not elected to be there.
Because what they're trying to create is an autocracy.
It's important to note that the unelected buzzword the protesters have attached to Elon is a shaky argument. Not only does the Constitution empower the president to appoint federal officials and cabinet members without a public vote, but Trump also campaigned with the explicit intention of appointing Elon to the head of DOGE.
Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
So those who voted for Trump, which is a majority of voters, also effectively voted for Elon. Anyways, while I was in New York City covering the Stop the Coup rally, there were similar protests breaking out on the West Coast. So I sent 2 correspondents into the field to check the temperature.
80-year-old women dressed as butterflies on traffic medians?
Yeah.
And these chants aren't good.
In the city of Glendale, which is near Los Angeles, we had our friend Matt in the field.
What's up? We're here in Glendale, the Americana.
And at the Tesla showroom in Palo Alto, California, which is regarded to be the center of the Silicon Valley ecosystem, we have my homie Albie from San Francisco at a physical boycott of the Tesla showroom.
What's up, guys? My name's Albie. I'm Andrew's homie from Frisco, but I'm here at the Tesla showroom in Palo Alto.
There's a protest going on, protesting Elon Musk, Doge, Tesla.
Everybody's out here protesting Elon Musk, and yeah, so Channel 5 News.
Let's see what people think.
We are going to resist, and we're going to resist together, because nobody can tolerate this.
We will not tolerate a deporter-in-chief.
Enough was enough with the Sieg Heil, the heartfelt autistic salute. So 4 weeks ago, just me and a friend stood outside the Service Center in Burbank, and the next day there was 4 of us. Last week, we came here and there was 30, and then this week it's just exploding here and across the country. There was like almost 100 here today, and they're all everywhere.
Tesla burns to a crisp. That's the caption on this now viral video of a charred Model 3.
and it's just growing, and Tesla's stock is rapidly declining.
New numbers from Tesla show its annual EV sales declined for the first time in more than a decade.
The stock is crashing at the moment. You're watching it live. On the month, you're down to 23%. On the day, I think it's like 7 or 8% down. Oh, geez, now 8%, approaching 9% down.
The organizers of the Glendale Boycott rally say it's more than just about Elon's political affiliation, and that Doge aside, he's genuinely mentally unfit to be running billion-dollar publicly traded companies.
This guy supposedly runs the Boring Company, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, and he's tweeting 200 times a day and never sleeping and taking ketamine. He's just been radicalized. His politics have clearly shifted, and we've seen it happen with all our friends and loved ones. They go down the dark side, they go on QAnon, down the internet rabbit hole, and something just happens to them, and it's usually white dudes. Thank you. It's usually some white dude who got picked on when he was a kid.
I was almost beaten to death, if you call that bullied. It was not a happy childhood.
Do you think the Democrats are doing enough?
Absolutely not. They went and stormed the Department of Education building, and one little skinny dude was stopping a whole mob of angry Democrats. It's pathetic.
The stunt comes as President Trump is considering abolishing the department.
Democrats do not know how to fight. That's literally my single mission. They know how to throw a punch, but when they take a punch back, they run away. And fighting is taking punches and getting bloody. It means our actual leaders need to get arrested, like John Lewis would have done.
Congressman John Lewis and Charles Rangel were among those arrested during a march on the National Mall. The lawmakers were among the first arrested after refusing police orders to disperse.
We need new leaders. All of our leadership of the Democratic Party, they're using 20th century tactics and messaging to fight against a battle troll destroying our country because of social media.
All right, let's take a moment to talk about Elon.
I think that guy, he wants another January 6th or something, man. He's ready for blood.
Elon Musk's radicalization that's being referenced in that interview, because I too have caught wind of the 10-year-old 4chan memes being posted by Elon on X and thought to myself, how the heck did that happen? Back in the day during the Obama era, I can remember when Elon Musk was a full-blown save the earth liberal and frequently secured massive government contracts from the Democrats, which he used to build eco-friendly cars and rockets.
I have a Tesla. Yeah. Okay, and I love it. I love it.
He was even tweeting in support of trans rights just a few years ago and vocally criticizing Trump.
He's not the right guy. He doesn't seem to have the sort of character that reflects well in the United States.
But like so many Americans, both left and right, 2020 broke him. Within 5 years of voting for Brandon, Elon would be tweeting things like, pronouns suck, and I love Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. So how did that happen? The way I see it, it all goes back to the first stage of the COVID pandemic, which gave birth to the anti-lockdown Freedom March movement, which Elon was quite fond of.
Freedom! 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 Freedom!
Elon's first personal freedom outburst came on April 28, 2020, shortly after the Trump administration and Democratic government officials in California ordered the shutdown of American Tesla factories to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Tesla, which employs roughly 10,000 people at its Fremont plant, was initially forced to shut down.
Immediately, Elon tweeted in all caps, "Free America," became critical of lockdowns and began calling the government actions of Trump and Newsom fascist.
Musk telling investors the orders hinder people's freedom.
This is fascist. Give people back their goddamn freedom.
Though initially pro-lockdown,
we've made the decision to further toughen the guidelines and blunt the infection now.
Trump quickly capitalized on the growing unrest amongst freedom-hungry conservatives and staunchly positioned himself against the CDC and blue state governors in an obvious effort to court more votes for the upcoming election.
The Chinese virus.
Did you know there won't be any more COVID on November 4th? It'll be gone.
Still, throughout that election cycle, Elon stayed loyal to the Democrats and voted for Biden in 2020.
Biden won. Yes, I believe he won.
And you voted for him.
I did.
But things really heated up between Biden and Elon in 2021 after Biden held an electric vehicle summit and took the stage with the CEOs of both Ford and General Motors.
Didn't invite Tesla.
Praising them as the leaders of electric vehicles, despite the fact that at that point, Tesla had made 115,000 EVs in America and General Motors had only made 26.
He never mentions Tesla, and that's got to be getting under Elon's skin.
You know, like Biden held this EV summit, didn't mention Tesla once, and praised GM and Ford for leading the EV revolution.
Biden never explicitly stated why Elon and Tesla were left out of the summit, but it likely wasn't about the mean tweets from the year before. Also invited to the summit and on stage was the UAW, or the United Auto Workers Union, the largest car manufacturer union in America, who work every single day to make sure that auto workers get fair pensions and wages.
They often did this through extreme hardship and sacrifice, sometimes at the expense of spilled blood.
Joe Biden is notably pro-union.
I'm proud to be the first president to walk a picket line.
And received large campaign donations from the Auto Workers Union, who'd recently tried and failed to unionize Tesla workers.
The United Auto Workers Union, or UAW, alleged that Tesla fired a worker for attempting to form a union.
Because of the company's immediate termination policy, Tesla is the only major auto manufacturer in the US not represented by a single union, and their workers are paid significantly less than other rival car manufacturers, despite having reported unsafe workplace conditions on a consistent basis for the past 4 years.
Tesla factory workers in California are working so hard they're passing out on the production line.
Tesla employees say they were worked to exhaustion.
Former Tesla workers sued the company.
Approximately 50 workers were not adequately protected from excessive heat.
Inspectors found workers were exposed to hexavalent chromium.
He's always had a record of abusing workers. There are labor claims against him at the factory in Milpitas for excessive heat and putting workers into dangerous conditions.
Yet without the ability to unionize and demand fair wages and conditions, these complaints have mostly died in the courts or fallen on deaf ears at Tesla corporate. Elon has said that his anti-union stance isn't about making more money for himself, but actually because unions kind of kill the vibe.
And I think the unions naturally try to create negativity in a company and create a kind of sort of lords and peasants situation.
Anyways, after being snubbed at the summit, Elon was pissed.
So you were pissed.
And around this exact time, 2 more things happened in Elon's personal life that made things even worse. First, he separated with his then partner, Grimes, a visually liberal lady with whom he has multiple children.
Elon Musk and Grimes have publicly announced their separation.
And simultaneously, one of his kids came out as transgender, changed their name, and denounced their dad.
Vivian cut ties with Elon in 2022 after filing a petition to change her name due to her gender identity and her severed relationship with her father.
So my son Xavier is dead. Killed by the woke mind virus.
I no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
If we were to look at Elon's conservative radicalization through the unmet core needs theory that I laid out in our recently premiered documentary, Dear Kelly, it's safe to say that through the collapse of his family and government backing, he lost his security. Through the loss of his status as the Democrat-backed tech darling, his significance. And through the estrangement of his then-girlfriend and child, connection. It was after this that Elon entered a traumatic fight-or-flight state in 2021. And he chose to fight, which allowed conservatives and conservative media channels to gradually groom him over the course of 4 years into what he is today, which is a prideful person with a chip on his shoulder, hopelessly stuck in the 3rd stage of the grief process, angry and hell-bent on revenge. Elon's most significant revenge acquisition was his purchase of Twitter in 2022.
The world's richest guy is set to buy one of the world's most influential social media companies.
Elon Musk carried a kitchen sink into Twitter HQ this week, tweeting, "Let that sink in."
Quickly after buying Twitter and renaming it X, he used his own account to elevate the narratives of conservative reactionaries who were delighted to have the richest man in the world not only buying but spreading the same bullshit they've been pushing for 4 years. Still, for all of 2023 and most of 2024, Elon was red-pilled but not fully a Trump guy. He actually backed Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for president.
Elon Musk tipping his hat toward Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to be the next president of the United States.
But when it turned out that DeSantis wouldn't really be the right guy, he was all Trump. Kind of. It wasn't until the Butler, Pennsylvania incident when someone tried to kill Donald Trump that Elon said, "I want to fight beside him too." And he kicked off his endorsement with a $120 million donation to the Trump campaign.
Elon Musk is now Trump's 2nd biggest financial backer.
To be fair, the investment was two-sided. After Election Day, Tesla's stock shot up over 80%, though after missing European sales targets and the growth of nationwide boycotts in the US, it started to crash back down to earth, which brings us to the boycott being covered today in this video. Apparently, Elon haters in Palo Alto and also in Glendale believe they can reverse Tesla's stock growth by staging physical boycotts of IRL Tesla showrooms, which they hope will create enough of a media spectacle to at least cause potential buyers to think twice before getting a Tesla.
We're just, making this point in front of a Tesla dealership and calling on the American people to stop buying Tesla. Let's boycott Tesla until we fix this problem.
I'm only focusing on Tesla and Musk because I feel like marching outside the White House or Trump he's Teflon Don. So we're going after Musk because it's a soft target, because he's sensitive and susceptible and he lashes out, and if we can decline his stock price, he has no wealth and then he loses his power.
Anybody who has a Tesla, sell it. Sell it immediately and sell it for the lowest dollar that you can. And if it's a relatively new car, that'll prevent another one from being made.
Don't buy Teslas. And if you have a Tesla, sell your Tesla. And if you have neighbors who have Teslas, tell them to sell their Teslas.
Because Tesla's the public face of Elon Musk, who is the public face of fascism.
If I had one, I'd sell it. I would be too embarrassed to drive it.
If Elon didn't own Tesla, would you like the cars itself?
I don't care.
Are you kidding? That whatever it is,
care.
It's bizarre.
I don't think they're the best EVs on the market. I don't think anyone thinks that. Whether or not it's driver error, they're the most dangerous cars on the road, so take what you will from that.
New video of a dramatic crash on the Bay Bridge.
Safety concerns aside, the protesters believe the boycott will be successful so long as they can create a direct correlation between owning and driving a Tesla and supporting the new Trump regime.
The fact is that none of the Tesla dealerships are locally owned. All of them are corporate owned. So the money that you spend at this dealership in Palo Alto goes to Musk.
Quit funding Republican corporations. It's really easy. Quit buying Wisconsin cheese. Quit shopping at Target. Those are all things we can do. Quit doing Amazon. If we don't give them the money, then they can't do their horror to us. And there's an Indian philosophy. Everybody has two wolves inside of them. Yeah. And the child asks, which one wins? The one you feed is the grandfather's wisdom. So don't feed the ugly corporations and the haters.
People matter.
Everyone is human. Everyone is legal. No one is a parasite.
Yo, what's happening, people? That Tesla boycott looked crazy. But you know what's also crazy? The fact that most of us are stuck inside algorithmic echo chambers, being manipulated by both sides of the evil mainstream media. But there's a dope-ass news aggregate that makes it all make sense. And that service is called Ground News. Every single day, Ground News compiles thousands of articles from across the political spectrum and ranks them in terms of left to right and center, so you can consume as many manufacturing and agricultural sector. That number is probably much higher.
I'm just worried about the future, I have friends who work in various businesses, are really good people who might not have a legal status in this country, and it just, what's going to happen to them?
I have friends who are undocumented.
Yeah.
I used to own a construction company. Well, half of the construction workers in this area are immigrants, and about half of them are undocumented. We could not have built the buildings we built, like the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Facebook could not have happened if we didn't have those immigrant workers.
I have family members who are from Mexico who have been affected by the immigration policies.
Some of my coworkers are undocumented. My son is going to be attending college next year, and he has a disability, so we're applying for financial aid right now that I feel like might not be there when the time comes.
At stake are resources and support for more than 7 million students with disabilities who depend on the agency to ensure access to a free public education.
I also have a son who has autism, and I think that a reworking of everything to stop on federal funding is just crazy. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's hurting the country.
The strength of a country is shown by how much they protect the rights and the freedoms and the needs of the most vulnerable. And Musk and Trump are dismantling all of that. We are also a queer family, and I worry about my children's safety and future and rights, that their rights will slowly but surely be stripped away. I think they will not stop with the immigrants. They will keep going towards the most vulnerable who don't fit the mold.
Wake up. It's happening way too fast. And if you don't stand up and protect the other groups, you're going to be next. It took Hitler a year from January of 33 till May of 33 to come after the gypsies, which are brown people and migrated and did labor work. 33, 34, 35, 36, unionists, socialists, trans, and gays. And then in 37, they came after the Jews, Night of the Broken Glass. So that's the progression that we're going through right now. And, you know, the Jews didn't stand up for people at the beginning. They were making money. You know, they were industrialists. But they turned on the Jews finally. So if you think you're immune and you can just sit it out, you're going to get caught sooner or later.
This is about standing up for our rights.
And even though Trump probably thinks what he's doing is saving democracy, he's destroying it.
Many of the protesters also believe that the mainstream conservative media machine is complicit in this coup as well, in the way that it's hypnotized the masses away from progressive politics, gradually grooming them into worshiping billionaires and falling for overblown culture war distractions.
What do you make on the attack on DEI?
I mean, I think it's a really easy way for basically a larger ownership, class to say, hey, don't pay attention to the fact that your groceries are doubling in price every year. Don't pay attention to the fact that nobody can buy a house. Just pay attention to the fact that trans people are scary to you. And DEI is a fun buzzword. The Republican and right-wing propaganda machine is incredibly strong, and people who otherwise they're just not engaged, and people, they've got multiple jobs, they're just too bogged down to pay attention to things, to learn about things, and systems keep them uneducated, just oppressed in various ways, that when you come home from like a triple shift, what are you going to do? Like go online and read about stuff? No, you've got so much more stuff to take care of. So I don't blame anybody for, getting into like the right-wing hole, but it's like, we'll see how good the propaganda machine is for the next few years.
So you support Elon Musk?
Yes.
Okay, what do you like about Elon Musk?
Everything. Is a smart guy. He's helping us to figure out what's going on in the government.
Do you believe he's making the government more efficient?
I hope he does. I mean, we'll find out sooner or later.
They probably genuinely are finding some inefficiencies and some corruptions that everybody could agree on. And I think they're also saying things are fraud that are just valuable services being rebranded as waste.
I understand all that stuff, but the truth takes time for it to come out. We hear all these negative stories, they're cutting this, laying off people, this, that, but eventually the truth will come out.
Do you think Donald Trump has our best interest in mind?
I hope so.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's been in the office for 1 month, and he's being bombarded with all this negative media. People have to give him some time, chance. I mean, America spoke, right? He won all the swing states. He won the popular vote. I mean, I have to give him a benefit of the doubt. And only time will tell if he's good for this country or he's bad for this country.
President Trump says some of the money apparently saved by the Department of Government Efficiency's cost-cutting efforts could be given back to Americans as stimulus checks. Last week, Trump said the administration is considering giving 20% of DOJ savings to citizens.
If he were to give each member of the American public $5,000, would you take that?
Of course. Hey, we're giving Ukraine $200 billion. Why not? You wouldn't take it?
If they send it to me, I have no choice but to take it, but it's going to dramatically increase inflation, and all they talk about is saving money. Why wouldn't they use that money to go pay off the debt they seem to care so much about? It's graft. It's trying to bribe people with money while they pick your pocket in the front and they take all your money.
All right, guys, this is Albie. We just finished checking out the Elon Musk protest. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Channel 5 News, we out, baby.
Channel 5 Live, worldwide, Hollywood and blind. Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers, and 5 is the best number.
No custers.